In just a couple of hours, I found a solution to cut my 40-hour estimate of filling out annual reports down to just 15 minutes. It's going to save me so much time now, and it's going to save me so much more time in the future as this business scales. So let's get right into it. So just to give a little bit more context of what this annual report is for, this is for Hyveo. This is my business that we have been working inside of for this past year. This was part of an acquisition. So we had just finished our first full year inside of this business with the existing clients that we've had. And we've been making so many changes to this business that we are super excited about. And I can't wait to talk about all the other things that we've been doing. So this last year, we maintained the same processes. We used the same assets that were provided to us before we wanted to make any major changes. So this annual report is what's been sent to our clients for years in the past. And so we did the bare minimum, just changing some of the branding elements to what is now current. So our product offering is we have a library of semi-custom benefits videos. Most companies that have benefits don't really know what to do with their benefits. And so what we offer is to take all of your benefits and to compile them in our videos. Your company gets a stack of videos with all your benefits, and it has all of your benefits details in there. Video is the best form of communication. People comprehend better with video. There's a lot of benefits to it, but one of it is you also get so much more data points because we track how many people are watching, we track how long they're watching it, we track what videos they're watching, and then at the end of the year, we compile all that data into a single annual report. And in the way that this was done in the past was 100% manual. So everything that was done here, you'd have to go and reference 5 different CSV files, and then you had to decode what the actual values were. And so you had to do some math, and every single one of these reports would take a couple hours to do. And then when you have a bunch of clients, this becomes a very time-consuming process. And so as we were just trying to, maintain the status quo and follow the trainings that we had been given on how to conduct and perform these annual reviews and how to send them out, I noticed so many things immediately that we could change that could have drastically improved the process of this. But I wasn't entirely sure because I'm not like a computer science major, but I've spent a lot more time with technology and I've spent a lot more time with code, but I haven't had, serious Python experience. But I knew that it was possible, and I knew that it was within reach, and I had an idea, but I wasn't sure how to execute it. But luckily, Claude exists and AI exists. And as we started to fill out these annual reports, my mind was trying to think of other ways that we could simplify this. I saw an email that Claude had sent me saying that Claude was now able to access PowerPoint files. I came to Claude and I said, this is what we have. We have an annual report. It's the same across for every single client, but the numbers need to change. And originally what we would do is we would just have screenshots within here that you'd come in here, you'd right click, you'd replace the image with the new screenshot that you got. And so there's a lot of images and things like that. And I wasn't entirely sure about how all of that was going to convert. Claude said, we can just swap that out with some graphs that you can replace those images altogether, and those graphs will update depending on the report. So with the help of Claude, I wrote this very detailed prompt inside of Claude Code and said this is what I was going to need. And then I just attached the PPTX file and all of the CSV data points that we needed to be referenced and read and added to the presentation. And then I said, please write me a script. I could find all the variable text inputs and integers. So with just a couple of prompts, it was able to find all of the inputs that needed to be swapped out, do the math on all of the CSV data points, and it was able to put it over into a new file. And then it was able to run a new file on top of that. And by just uploading the PowerPoint file inside of Claude and the CSV files, just from that, it was able to read it and analyze it. And then just based off of that, and then going back and forth a few different times with me clarifying things, it came back with this Python script and allowed me to download it onto my own system. I put it in my folder where all the PPTX files were. And then I went inside of Claude Code and started a new one. I had AI help write me this really thorough prompt to get it jump started. And then it was able to take the Python script, the PPTX files, and was able to run some reports. And then it was able to run those reports automatically. If you found any value from this video so far, please give it a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, Claude's part in rewriting the PowerPoint file and writing the Python and getting it all to work probably only took about 30 minutes. So most clients had 2 different video stacks that they were needing annual reports on. And so within each of those subfolders, there would be all the CSV files for that stack, And then at the root of that file, there was the template of the PowerPoint file. And then I just gave the path to that, and I gave the command that I need this run for all of those folders in there with all of the CSV files. And then just like that, it was able to run it. And first, Claude did a couple test ones that would show up in my folder. I would review it, and then I'd review it next to all of the CSV data. And I saw that it only took me, I think, 2 attempts for all of the data to map correctly. And that was including replacing the old screenshot with an actual graph that was built straight inside of PowerPoint. And that had been used a couple places throughout the presentation. So that was wiped out. We didn't need to do that anymore. And then we didn't need to update any of the numbers themselves because those numbers already were all in the CSV file, and Claude was able to see where those numbers lined up and where they needed to go. Now, to actually build that out took a ton of Claude usage. So just be aware that if you're on just the Pro plan, you're probably going to use the majority of your usage right there and just a couple of prompts as it runs through that. But then it provided us with Python script that for every other time that we were going to run it, it would just run it off of this Python script, and it would be able to run the report in like 5 or 10 seconds. I think from start to finish, I had all of this done in just over 2 hours. When you're a small business with only a couple people helping out, doing something like running reports is a time-consuming thing. It's very valuable. It's very needed for your clients, but it's not the highest leverage thing that you can be doing. It's not the highest value thing that you could be spending your time on. This is one of the aspects of AI that is so incredibly powerful that now I have this template that we can run time and time again. We're going to make updates to this file to make it look a lot better and match more of our branding. Then we have a base here that we can run these reports really quick and get these reports out to our clients really fast every single year. Now, there's one step further that I have not executed on this yet because I just had a handful of these annual reports that we needed to do. But for next year, I'm going to make sure that I work out that those reports can be self-generated and then send them automatically as well. And so I'll talk about more of that process as well once I get to that point. Right now, I've got more things on my plate that I'm working on. But this was something that was really time sensitive, but I knew that we could automate and save us so much time this year, but even so every single year from now on, because as we scale, it doesn't matter if we have 1,000 clients, 5,000 clients, 10,000 clients, we can run all of their reports almost instantly. There's still things that I'm learning in this process, and as I learn more things, I'll share them here. If you are still doing things like this manually, where you have to do it for multiple clients or multiple accounts, just know that there's an easier way, especially if your layout doesn't need to change and you're just swapping out numbers. There's a much better and faster solution for you out there. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found it helpful, please give it a like and feel free to follow along to get more updates and insights of how to run your business with AI. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.